pretty good, right? I have my cell phone with me at all times. I have to. Do you remember when we didn't have cell phones? What a dark and primitive time that must have been. How did we get by as a culture? How did we survive? I mean, if I leave the house, I don't have my cell phone with me, I go into some sort of lack of cellular-induced anxiety disorder. You have that moment where you're like, wait, crap. The satellite doesn't know where I am. I'm an unidentified human object floating freely on the global information grid with no beacon, no point of reference. I am meaningless on a cosmic level without my cell phone. I get a pretty good deal on mine. It's only $900 a month. Well, I guess, what is it, $100 a month? But if you go 3 calls over, they're $300 a call. Do you understand your bill? I don't understand mine. There's like 70 pages. There's 5 columns of numbers. By the 5th page, I'm like, what does this mean? And I have to masturbate to get through the rest of it, because that's what I do when I get stressed out. I immediately start masturbating like a monkey, because I think that's why God gave us the gift of masturbation. Stress release. Think about it. When the world is overwhelming, make it simple. You know what's going to happen here. It's a beginning, a middle, an end, some sadness, and of course, the shame nap, which we covered earlier. But as far as technology goes, man, there used to be a time where you actually remembered your friend's phone number. Do you remember that? Now, honestly, if somebody goes, what's your phone number? I got to go like, oh, man, I should know that. Wait. Theoretically, we surrender way too much information to technology to free up our mind for what? I don't know. What's that guy doing? Making a cake? What's he, serious? All right, back over here. Production values are far better than you even imagine, aren't they? So just think about it. Really, honestly, if you have a BlackBerry or a cell phone, you know, and you lose it, you're like 2 hours away from digging through the garbage going, who am I? Where do I live? And honestly, I have one of these phones. I just make calls on it. You know, what am I? You know, behind the times? I just make calls. I'm not taking pictures. I'm not mixing music or watching television on my cell phone. I just make calls. Does that make me a Luddite, an old-fashioned guy? I don't understand. What are people doing with these pictures? Let's be honest, folks. Is he buying CDs or actually buying the player? It's hard to say. I got to be honest with you. I think he's probably spending his afternoon here. Anyways. I mean, come on, let's be honest. MySpace is just going to be the Friendster of the next couple of years. Eventually, it'll just become this digital graveyard filled with needy ghosts, and aliens will find these hard drives with MySpace on them and go, oh my God, every one of these silly humans thought they were important. Sad. Anyways, getting back to this whole idea about surrendering too much of our identity. I'll be honest with you. Pretty soon, the computer is going to be hooked up to the stereo. It's going to be hooked up to the TV. It's going to be hooked up to the lights in your house. And at that point, we're not even going to be individuals anymore. We're just going to be the part of our home entertainment system that eats and goes to the bathroom. That's right, a symbiotic relationship, and we're actually the ones being used. Let me explain something to you. I believe that all these machines have turned on us. The computers have turned on us, and they're feeding on our time. Let me explain. Did you ever just sit down and go, I'm just going to check my email? 6 hours later, you're like, what the hell happened to my day? The computer ate your day. And all that time is being stored in big time vats up on the Microsoft campus. Yes, and once a month on a full moon, Bill Gates and his wife hook themselves up to the time vats by their nipples and do the dance of eternal life. I'm not making this up, people. I saw it on the internet. Yeah. Like this phone, I don't even know what this phone does. You get a manual, but you just learn how to make calls and load the phone book. But this thing does things I don't even understand, and I just don't have the time or the patience. Who the hell has the time to do all this stuff? But I know what's going to happen. I'm going to fall off the technological evolutionary, what would you call it, scale. All right, because what's going to happen is one day someone's just going to come up next to me, hovering like 2 feet off the ground, just kind of, and I'm going to be like, what the hell is that? And they're just going to go, I don't know, my phone does it, man. And I'm going to be, wait, does my phone do it? Don't fly away, young man. I want to fly before I die. Well, I'll be honest with you, I had to take a second job recently that I didn't really plan on, but it's loading my iPod. Why didn't anybody tell me this toy was going to suck my life away? Man, I wasn't even going to get one. I actually resented people who had them. I'd see the little white headphones, and I'm like, no, I'm not in. I used to see them as recruiting. They were pod zombies out to get my brain as well. And when I'd see them sitting on the train or on the subway or something, I'd think to myself, no, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be sitting there listening to music or reading. If you're on the train, you should be sitting there wondering what the hell went wrong with your life, like the rest of us, all right? But I have one now, and let me explain to you what happened. My wife wanted one, so of course that means I had to buy her one. And I go to the Apple store. And I don't know if you've been to the Apple Store, but you walk in and it's like, ah, it's like the most perfect place on earth. So I'm looking at this stuff. I'm trying to act like I'm informed somehow, which I'm not. And I walk up to the woman and I'm like, all right, so how many songs does the 60 gig one hold? How many songs does the best iPod hold? How many songs? And the woman looks at me and she says, all of them. And I'm like, you mean all of mine? Or no, every song ever recorded by human beings. Hey.
Guys, I love you, but I can't let you record inside Starbucks without permission.
No problem, no problem. We'll finish the bit in a minute. Cool. All right, picking up where we left off, we'll probably be okay for now, but the Starbucks police might come out and move us. Standards and practices, people. So here's where I was. So all of the songs, and let me tell you something, man. I was a guy that before I got to the Apple Store, I was putting one CD into a disc player, and for some reason I'm in the Apple Store 5 minutes and I'm thinking, hey, maybe I need every song ever recorded by human beings with me at all times. Who knows when there might be an emergency and I have to hear an Art Tatum number? Who knows? And then I realized why I was apprehensive about owning an iPod is because I have this fear. It's a little neurotic. I have a fear of dying with the wrong song being on. You know, just maybe being on a train or in my car. I don't listen to it in my car. Maybe just walking down the street like, you know, and just I'm about to go down and It's a Beautiful Day by U2 is blaring in my head. And I wouldn't have time to get it to my death playlist before I hit the asphalt to the look of surprised and stunned strangers. Yeah, here's another added part. You wouldn't have a problem with this part. It's like, you know how we're suckers? This is how we're suckers. Is why do we think that by changing the delivery system, you know, the songs are going to become better? I have 500 CDs that took me probably a year and a half to load into my iPod, okay? And I don't want to listen to 490 of them. Literally, I'm just like, no. We're flipping through books. No, tired of it. Don't want to hear it. Why do we think that by putting that into a different machine that it's going to magically reinvigorate the music again? It doesn't. It's just a different hand movement. Instead of going, no, oh, it sucks, no, I'm tired of that one. We're doing this. Yeah, no. We've just spent about $500 to switch the hand movement of disappointment.